It's 2 o'clock, and our next committee meeting of the day is the Rules Committee. Those committee members are McKittrick, Fusco, Amobian, Connor, and Davis. We have all committee members present except for Councilwoman Davis. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Chair.
Thanks, Clerk Beviano. I'd like to call the Rules Committee to order. We have previous minutes to approve. If I could get a motion and a second.
So move.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. We have a couple pieces that come before us today. The first is a resolution urging the federal government to release funds for local after-school and summer programs that benefit students and declaring an emergency. I'd like to yield to the sponsor, Councilman Bolden.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is money that was appropriated back in the spring, and the president signed this money to go to after-school programs, and just recently has decided to hold off on sending it out to fund both after-school programs in the fall and summer programs. Most of Akron Public Schools' summer programs have been paid for, but it's the fall that will take the hit on this. This council has approved money for these programs, which is even more frustrating, that the federal government's not putting that, they're not basically living up to their promises, but that seems to be what's coming out of Washington these days. 1.4 million students nationally will be affected by this. In the Akron area, you're looking at about $800,000 in the fall that will not be appropriated, not be given, if it doesn't move by now. Don't know who we can talk to at the federal government. This is something that I know the after-school network is looking to try and get something to do, kind of near and dear to my heart because I see it every day. But just asking, that put a resolution asking council support to pass this and let us know that this city, this council, the city, the mayor's office, administration have put money into after-school, and now we've got the federal government cutting it. So I would just like to let people know that.
Thank you for that information, Councilman. Do we have any comments from any committee members? Councilman Fusco.
Yeah, just to add on, and thank you, Mr. Bolden, for bringing this in. We every year we get an update from APS in terms of the benefits that we have as a community with regards to the after-school programming. Oftentimes, one of the disturbing pieces is that just food insecurities, I guess, I think that's what they call it these days. A lot of times these kids, they don't even, they don't get food until much later in the day. And so that's just a small piece of the benefits. It's big, but it's just a piece of it because there's so many other benefits. The grades, the outcomes has been measured for years and years and years. And again, this is just an onslaught whenever it comes to the attack on communities and cities, and it's terrible. And thank you for bringing this in. Is this part of that big, beautiful?
No, this is money that was appropriated in education grants for schools, $6 billion.
Okay.
That he had approved and signed into law that they were going to go ahead and give it for this year. They might hold off after that year, but they are now holding off on basically appropriating this money that they have signed for, and they said they would give away. So schools have basically set up programming, and now he's pulling the funding.
There was
holding the funding
on a commitment that was made in the spring?
Yes. $6 million, $6 billion of funding.
That's deplorable.
All right, thank you, Councilman. I appreciate that. I'd like to recognize Councilwoman Amobian.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Thank you. I certainly would like to just add on to what my colleagues have indicated. We know that children learn and participate better in educational activities if they have food in their stomachs. And many of these kids are coming to us without having that. And and we have been providing nutritional support to children for a number of years. And it makes no sense at this point for the federal government to deny their responsibility. But not only that, we know that they're hurting social service agencies that are providing a wide range of services to children and families. So thank you, Mr. Bowden, for doing this. And I certainly concur with everything that's been said. It is the responsibility of this government to provide the resources that they have already committed, because the school districts across the country are looking forward to these dollars and need them so desperately. And sometimes people think that it's only minority children, immigrants, or whatever that are getting these, but these are all children in our school districts that are benefiting from these resources. And we've added the different grade levels over the years. So you have lots of children coming to school to get their nourishment for their morning and lunch, and sometimes snacks after school. But anyway, we need these dollars, and thank you so very much. And I strongly support this.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Great points. I appreciate your comments. Any other committee members or council members? Okay. Yeah, there's so many uncertainties as what's coming out of at a federal level and even at the state level right now. We really have so many uncertainties that we don't know what's going to happen with so many such important programs just like this. So if the committee would come with a recommendation for suspension of the rules? So moved. We have a motion for suspension of the rules. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
All right. Anybody opposed? Thank you. All right, we'll get that before council tonight, and hopefully we'll get a motion for mayor and council as a whole on that. Okay, our next piece to come before us today is a resolution congratulating the mayor, the city administration, and their community partners on successfully acquiring the All-American City designation for the city of Akron by the National Civic League and declaring an emergency. Do we have somebody here that would like to speak on this today?
Mr. Chair, if I could first, and then the mayor can.
Okay, President Somerville, go right ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. We just wanted to bring in a resolution just formally congratulating the mayor, his team, the administration, city departments, our community partners who worked really hard to represent Akron so well in acquiring the All-American City designation. And really just want to say that this is a big deal, right? Only 10 communities, right, I think are granted this designation. So again, we just want to say congratulations and thank you for all of your hard work.
Thanks for those comments, Madam President. Mayor Malik?
Thanks, Mr. Chair, and thank you very much, Madam President. I just wanted to make sure that Lauren and Emma had an opportunity to just speak about this. It was a really amazing opportunity, and I think one of the things that really resonated with me is that the three projects that we highlighted, the AWR, Akron Waterways Renewed project, the Recycle Right project, and the Civic Commons project. I always want to say reconnecting, but that's the other project, the Civic Commons project. They're all things that have been long-term projects of the city over multiple administrations, things where city council and the administration have worked very strongly. And so it was really cool to be able to talk about those and talk about the level of unity. So Emma and Lauren, anything you want to add?
Sure. Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Council President Somerville, for the recognition. This was a really great community-wide effort. We had a delegation of about 62 individuals that spanned businesses, nonprofits, government leaders, and it really showed, if nothing else, a lot of civic pride. The way that we talked about it was it's going to be like a big family reunion because we had to wear shirts all weekend with distant cousins, and you're going to get to know everybody really well. And that's exactly what it was. And I think that folks should be really proud of themselves. And I think, if nothing else, it was just a testament to the work of city staff especially civil servants and administrations who have been here prior to us, really highlighting and implementing the programs in which they have put in place. So again, I think it's just really important that residents should feel proud of their city, just knowing the good work that is being done, and also just the competitive nature, having 20 other finalists going up to get this award. Akron really showed ourselves and in a really great model of teamwork. And then I have one more comment, Councilman Bolden, about the federal legislation. I'll touch base with you separately, but we've been tracking what's going on at the state and federal level pretty closely. Lauren?
Yes, once again, thank you very much, Mayor Malik, and also President Somerville for the recognition. It means a lot to us. I think it's important to talk about who was a part of that delegation. And the one thing that I keep on saying is we had somebody 3 months all the way up to someone 91 years old who was a part of that. It really showed just how inclusive our community is and spanned in so many different spaces. We want to thank Akron City Council for being a part of that. It was great to have Councilwoman Tina and Councilwoman Janice there with us in order to be able to show just how inclusive we are. The theme was about strengthening our communities through community engagement and sustainability. So our public service department was definitely on the front stage. And it's great to know that we are doing amazing things that can be nationally recognized. We don't get a chance to really show just what our 2,000 workers are doing on a regular basis. Sometimes that's a thankless job, and I think you know that as councilmen and councilwomen that are here. But it was great to be able to say thank you. You've done an awesome job. You are being recognized on a national level in this space, and that we are, once again, an all-America city. So thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, Emma, for your comments on that. I'd like to recognize Linda Mobian. She's got her hand raised. Go ahead, Councilwoman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Madam President, for doing this. I heard that Akron just showed out, and I guess Ms. Lauren had some kind of script that people remembered and delivered well on. And you even had a dumpster or something there, a recycling bin. I said, what in the devil? But I heard that you guys showed up and did a tremendous job. I was fortunate to be a part of the last group that went, and I know how exciting it is, and the competition is usually real stiff, real tough to compete with some of these cities. So congratulations, and thank you so much for that, because people need to know that this kind of recognition doesn't come easily. And you are competing with lots of other major cities that bring tons of people to these nomination application processes. But it was great when I was there, and I'm sure you guys had a wonderful time in Denver. So congratulations, Mr. Mayor, and your team. And it sounds like it's a wonderful way to try to end our, getting close to ending the bicentennial celebration, to add another award-winning recognition. So congratulations, and thank you very much. And Madam President, I don't know if you plan to do mayor and council as a whole, or council as a whole this afternoon or what, but that'll be great. But thanks a lot.
Thank you, Councilwoman. I'd like to recognize Councilman Lombardo.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I, too, would like to offer congratulations to the mayor and the staff and everybody that went down. It was in Denver, right? Mm-hmm. Right. And it's a great honor. Of the 3 components that the mayor talked about, I'm closest to the Recycle Right campaign, because I know a lot of the kids that go around and check the bins amongst other jobs that they have for the Recycle Right campaign. But I mean, it's a great program, because I guess you could just never assume everybody knows the rules, mm-hmm. right? Obviously, in Ward 2, we have a lot of diversity there going on, but in other parts of the city, I guess you just never assume. But to continually educate them, and I guess the program is like, from being an expense, it's making money, so to speak, or saving money. And it's just a great program to keep going on. And so just congratulations. I'll pick up my T-shirt. I saw some T-shirts the other day.
We do have shirts for all of you.
Maybe they ran out of my size. I don't know. But thanks for everything that you do. And it was just great to be honored that way. So congrats.
Thanks, Councilman. One, just If you haven't had the chance to see the presentation, you can go onto the YouTube page for the National Civic League All-America City, and you can see the comical relief that was brought when it came to the Recycle Right program. It was really well done. We did have a recycling bin. Big shout out to Keep Akron Beautiful. Their team was there. They really helped get some of the materials needed that we had on stage. But again, if you haven't had a chance to watch it, I would just encourage everyone to check it out. It's the Saturday morning session from last weekend, and you can really see on full display how hard folks worked and memorized their lines, and it was funny too. But yeah, the Recycle Right campaign is a great program.
Thanks for those comments. Councilwoman Jan Davis.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to chime in and say it was an absolutely amazing event. Really wonderful people from all over the United States. I had a great time, learned a lot of things, and I really appreciated the opportunity to attend. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilwoman Boyce.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to additionally recognize these two young women who did this with children with them the entire time. And Emma, how you had a baby on your hip the whole time. When I say the whole time, I mean either Danica was holding your baby, someone was pushing the shoulder. These two ladies are really, really strong assets to the city, and I just really appreciated, your tenacity, your patience, because we needed some patience at times, but also your ability to rally everybody. And when we talk about rallying, I think the whole city should be proud. The Akron delegation was in every single the 20 presentations that happened in Denver, we were at every single one. At the very end, when they thanked the last presenters, they acknowledged the city of Akron. We were the only people they acknowledged. What do they call it? The forewoman, she acknowledged the city of Akron as being, if she had a cheerleader award, it would have gone to us. So be very proud. Thanks.
Councilwoman Connor.
Just to echo some of the comments that have helped. I had the opportunity to go a number of years ago to the All-America City, and when you experience that, it lasts with you forever. The amount of respect that Akron gets from other cities, I wish everyone in Akron could see it. We are way more forward-thinking than people give us credit for, so I agree with Emma. If you get a chance to watch it. That enthusiasm is contagious, and we just want more and more and more of it. Thank you all for a great job.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Any other council members or committee members have any comments? Okay, just a few words. I have, congratulations, Mayor. Congratulations to all the administration, all the city employees, but like Lauren was saying, this is a community thing. It's not just the employees, it's not just the administration, it's not just council, it's the community. And that's what makes this happen. I'm grateful because I've been around for all of these designations as an employee and as a council member. And so I feel very fortunate, and I count my blessings to have been, just around for those. But it's truly an entire community. It's a village. So if we could get a motion for suspension of the rules, please. Have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye? Aye. Any opposed? All right, well, thank you so much for this, and we have nothing further to come before rules. We will be adjourned. Thank you.
Our next committee today will be the Public Service Committee. Those committee members are Kamer, McKittrick, DeShazier, Bolden, and Lombardo. We'll get started in just a moment. Thank you. Okay, again, the next committee meeting is the Public Service Committee. Those committee members are Kamer, McKittrick, DeShazier, Bolden, and Lombardo. We do have all committee members present whenever you're ready, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'd like to move forward and call the public service meeting to order, please. All members are present, and we do have minutes to approve from last week, please. Can I get approval of those minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor of the minutes, say aye.
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 Anybody opposed? All right, thank you. We do have quite a few new pieces in front of us today, and our first piece is a resolution approving and confirming the appointment of Sandy Augusta as a member of the Akron Tree Commission and declaring an emergency. And I'm not sure who's speaking on this. Okay, Casey.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the committee. I think this is fairly simple legislation, but I wanted to be here to talk about it briefly with you. We are nominating Sandy Augusta for the remaining open seat on the Tree Commission. She's had a really long career in landscaping, and now that she's mostly retired, she is looking for opportunities like this to fill her time and stay engaged with the things that she's passionate about for the community. I have Sarah Vredenberg here with me, who is the chair of the Tree Commission and has met and talked with Sandy, and I'm going to let her say a few words about the nomination. I just wanted to first thank Councilman Fusco, who I believe has also met Sandy, but more than that was very helpful in expanding the number of seats for the Tree Commission to begin with last year, so we wouldn't be bringing this legislation forward had he not done that. So just wanted to acknowledge that, and I'll let Sarah say whatever she would like.
Thank you very much, Casey. I can't begin to tell you what the difference that these 4 new members, or soon to be 4 new members, have made to the Tree Commission, because it expands the experience and it expands the enthusiasm. We now have a really great board on the Tree Commission, and doubled with the staff. Matt Null, Leah Heiser, the folks in the service department. I really expect great things for our trees, Akron's trees. I have met Sandy, and she is delightful. She's probably a lot smarter than I am, knows her stuff when talking about plants. She even took the opportunity to go with several of us up to Holden Arboretum for some education in what's going on in tree research up there. Didn't have to go, but decided she wanted to, and I think that speaks to the quality of the person coming onto the board. So I would respectfully ask you to approve her.
All right, thank you. I appreciate the presentation. Committee members, any questions or comments for anyone? All right, anyone else in council chambers or online with us? Okay. Is consent okay with this one? Or is...
Yes, that should be fine. Yeah. I was just thinking about when the next Tree Commission meeting was, but it's not till the end of the month, so I think consent's fine.
Excuse me, it's next.
Is it
next week?
Oh,
okay.
If you wouldn't mind, then.
All right. I'll ask the committee to consider suspension of the rules.
Motion for suspension of the rules with a favorable report.
Second.
Right. Have a motion and a second for suspension of the rules. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, we'll suspend the rules this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on to the next piece is number 6, ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into a contracts with Montrose Ford LLC for the purchase of a new shop truck and declaring an emergency. Jeff.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. This purchase is actually in the Akron Fire Department, and if you have any questions, we have members here that'd be willing and able to answer your questions.
All right, thank you. Do you have anything to add before I take any questions?
Not particularly. I just want to let you guys know this current truck is 22 years old. It's having some difficulties. In the past 18 months, it's been out of service 6 times. It allows our internal maintenance staff to go to stations and fix minor problems. It's something that's been budgeted for in the capital budget for 2025. We're just asking the money be released.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments from committee members? We got Councilman McKittrick.
I'm just curious. I know in the past we've had so many issues ordering vehicles. How difficult was this finally to be able to get this vehicle?
So like the money is in the capital budget to be released. The biggest downfall now is we went to move on it earlier. We didn't do it. We've now pushed back a model year in the chassis, so the cost went up slightly. and we're getting a several-month turnaround time, so it's kind of imperative that we order it now to prevent any further outages or disruptions of service.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Any other questions or comments? Councilman Fusco.
And what's the process you go through for, this is pretty specific, referencing Montrose Ford? Why?
Good afternoon. So the specific process is that we reach out to vendors. Montrose Ford specifically reached out to Fallsway to fabricate the box that goes on the back of the chassis. So like District Chief Reedy stated, this has been a long overdue process. We looked for some off-the-shelf options. We asked them to do a large search for a previous model year or even a current model year. There's just nothing out there. And it's this person takes care of so many issues that 15 facilities that he travels to every day that just works on the minor stuff.
So he works at Montrose Ford, is that it? This fella that you mentioned, or what?
Yeah, Derek.
I just wonder, because we do see Montrose Ford often here, I think, or a few times a year, and I'm just curious. Akron
they're part
places.
of Sourcewell, sir. So
okay.
So they're the Ohio Pricing Consortium. So,
okay. We have some vendors in Akron proper. That's all. Thanks.
Gotcha.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Councilman. Councilman DeShazer.
So you got 22 years out of the last one. What's actually the lifespan of one?
So part of the problem with this one in particular, it's not just the chassis. Our fire maintenance staff looked at the ability of maybe taking the box off the current vehicle and putting a new chassis. The issue is the current box leaks. It has some water issues. They're storing things in trash bags and Tupperware containers to keep things from getting wet. And the chassis and frame itself, along with the motor, are going bad. They've welded pretty much everything they can. There's rust throughout the body. And they said, right now, like this past weekend with the holiday, it sat for a while. So they had to finesse it to get it started this morning. So they did their fiduciary responsibility, trying to assess all options, but kind of like Chief Passy was saying, we have a staff member at Fire Maintenance whose sole purpose is to travel these stations and repair these things. With this truck out of service, he operates out of a pickup truck, but now he has to make more stops to go pick up equipment he didn't have. So, it's one of the things, the service life on them, we take care of them. It's typically stored indoors. So 22 years, 137,000 miles. So we'd like to get the same out of the next one.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Councilman. With that, would you like consent or suspension of the rules? What are you thinking?
Suspension of the rules.
All right, committee?
Motion for suspension of the rules with a favorable report.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second for suspension of rules. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, we'll present that this evening for suspension of rules. Thank you, too. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
It means a lot. All right, moving on to number 7 is ordinance levying special assessments for the improvement of certain streets between certain termini, 2021 Phase 1 Residential Resurfacing Program by resurfacing such streets with asphaltic concrete 402, 404, and declare an emergency. And Jeff, our Deputy Service Director.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. This ordinance and the next 8 pieces, which will be presented to you today, is associated with previous resurfacing programs, which were all completed in 2024. This is the third and final step of the legislative process, which have previously included the resolution of necessity, which you've previously approved, as well as the ordinance to proceed as well, which was approved. So this last step is the final assessment legislation, and this legislation will allow us to assess a portion of the cost of the improvements to the property owner. The property owner will have 2 options. One of those options is to pay the assessment in full, and then the second option is to spread it out over a 5-year period. As you can see in this ordinance, Some are dated, 2021, and some of the others in 22, 23, and 24. And the reason for the delay in this final step is because there was time that was needed in order on some of the streets to perform improvements that were necessary. So we didn't want to resurface the street in 2021 and then come back with some other project that would ultimately require a restoration and repair, and then there would be a patch for a long period of time. So some of the projects that ultimately caused this, lead service line replacements. We've replaced, since 2021, we've replaced 3,300 lead services. Water main replacement, we went in and replaced the water main first, and we did like 59,000 feet of water main. There's been CSO sewer construction as part of that. Other utilities may reach out and say, hey, like Dominion, for example, we got some service line replacements to do. And so there were delays on some of the streets that have now since ultimately been completed, and we're now at the point where we can do this final step for legislation.
All right, thank you, I appreciate that. Committee members, any questions or comments? All right, any other council members with us? Obviously, the next several pieces will be similar. All right, you're okay with consent agenda?
Consent agenda is okay, thank you.
Committee, we get a motion?
Motion for consent agenda?
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second for consent. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, well, thank you. That's number 7. Number 8, ordinance levying special assessments for the improvement of certain streets between certain termini, 2022, Phase 1, ulterior collector program by resurfacing such streets with asphaltic concrete, 402, 401, and declaring an emergency. Obviously, the same explanation, right?
That is correct.
Okay. Committee members, any questions or comments? All right, any other folks with us today? All right, moving forward, consent. Can I get a motion for consent?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor of consent, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, thank you. Moving on to the next one, number 9. Ordinance levying special assessments for the improvement of certain streets between certain termini, 2022, Phase 1, partial depth pavement replacement program by repaving such streets with asphaltic concrete, 402, 404, and declaring an emergency. Nothing to add to this one. Any questions or comments from committee members or council members with us today? All right, I'll make the motion for consent. Can I get a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second for consent. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, moving on to number 10, ordinance levying special assessments for the improvement of certain streets between certain termini, 2022, Phase 1, residential resurfacing program by resurfacing such streets with asphaltic concrete, 402, 404, and declaring an emergency. Same explanation. Any questions or comments from committee members or council members with us today?
Move for consent.
I have a motion for consent. A second. All in favor for consent, say aye.
Aye.
Any noes? All right, moving forward, number 11, ordinance levying special assessment for the improvement of certain streets between certain termini, 2022, Phase 1, unimproved street resurfacing program by treating the surface thereof with substances designed to prevent or preserve the surface and declaring an emergency. Jeff, you have anything to add to this one?
We're good.
Motion. I'll make the motion for consent. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor of consent, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right. Number 12, ordinance levying special assessment for the improvement of certain streets between certain termini, 2023, Phase 1, ulterior collector program by resurfacing such streets with asphaltic concrete, 402, 404, and declaring an emergency. Any questions or comments from committee members or council members with us today? All right, motion for consent.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor of consent, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right. 13 was pulled. So we'll move on to number 14. All right, ordinance levying special assessments for the improvement of certain streets between certain termini, 2023, Phase 1 residential resurfacing program by resurfacing such streets with asphaltic concrete 402, 404, and declare an emergency. Nothing to add, Jeff, correct? Council members, any questions or comments? All right. Can I get
Motion
it?
for consent?
Second.
I have a motion and a second for consent. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, thank you. Moving on to number 15, ordinance levying special assessment for the improvement of certain streets between certain termini, 2024 Phase 1 unimproved street resurfacing program by treating the surface thereof with substances designed to preserve the surface and declare an emergency. Nothing to add. Council members, any questions or comments? All right.
Move for consent.
Second.
Have a motion and a second for consent. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right. Moving on to number 16, ordinance levying special assessment for the improvement of certain streets between certain termini, 2024 Phase 1 residential resurfacing program by resurfacing such streets with asphaltic concrete 402 and 404 and declare an emergency. Nothing to add, correct? All right, council members, any questions or comments before I
Move
ask
for
for a vote?
consent.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor of consent, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, well, that concludes our public service for the day. So thank you for coming down, Chef. You did a good job. So,
Thank you.
All right, with that, we are adjourned.
Our next committee today will be the Public Safety Committee. Those committee members are McKittrick, Kamer, Lombardo, Hannah, and Davis. If we could give everyone just a moment here. Thank you.
It's now 2:41, and the next committee meeting of the day is a Public Safety Committee. Those committee members are McKittrick, Kamer, Lombardo, Hannah, and Davis. We do have all committee members present. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Deputy Clerk Owen. I'd like to welcome Summer Owen, our new Deputy Clerk, today. Thank you. We have previous minutes to approve. If I could get a motion and a second.
Motion to approve previous meeting minutes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval of minutes. All in favor, aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, thank you. We have one piece coming before us today. It's an ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into an agreement or agreements with the County of Summit, Ohio for mutual aid in order to receive assistance from and extend the capacity of the Summit County Sheriff's Office's Special Weapons Tactics SWAT unit and declaring an emergency. Chief McCosey, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and members of the committee. Thank you for the time. We're asking for approval to enter into a mutual aid agreement with Summit County. This will allow us and our SWAT teams to work interchangeably. It happens very infrequently that we have to call on them or they have to call on us, but it does happen fairly frequently that we operate outside the city, and likewise them operating inside the city for specific operations that they do. This allows that arrangement to be formalized so that they can operate, we can operate in those situations where we need to. There is no charge for this, there's no money spent. In this case, everybody pays their own bills. So it's just an issue of formalizing the relationship so that we can operate interchangeably within the jurisdictions.
Thank you, Chief. Do we have any questions or comments from any committee members or any council members? Okay, not seeing any. What's your pleasure on this, sir?
Consent agenda is fine on this.
Could I get a motion for consent agenda, please?
Motion for consent.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for consent agenda. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. We'll get that put on the consent agenda.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. We have nothing further to come before public safety. We will be adjourned. Thank you.
That is the final committee meeting of the day. Council will meet in regular session at 6:30. Thank you.